Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Erin and I do mostly budgeting videos, but I also do others like the one you're about to see here. Thank you so much for tuning in and spending some time with me. As promised, I am going to give you a little flip through of my current bullet journal. I know that I mentioned in a couple of previous videos that I am bullet journaling at this time, and it's kind of taken me away just a bit from my happy planner, and I'm not sure how I feel about that because I am a huge happy planner fan and I just love working in it and planning in it and using it. It just makes me really happy. I like the way it looks and I like using all the stickers, but I don't know, just over the past couple of months, I kind of transitioned my way of thinking and my way of planning to a more minimalistic style. Now, I'm still using my happy planners for different reasons, but this is kind of keeping me on track for lists, to-dos, goals, and things like that. In previous videos, I also gave you a little peek at my bullet journal from 2016. I think that I started bullet journaling either that year or 2015. And prior to, the way I'm doing things now, which is more of a minimalistic approach, I was using a lot of doodles, a lot of color, it was very animated looking. And now I'm just using this more for the functionality. And I got back into this, I started thinking about it earlier this year. And I did it a little bit in a Leuchtturm 1917 notebook, and I really liked it, but I quickly realized that Leuchtturm is probably not for me. It's a very common item to be used for bullet journaling in the bullet journaling community. I am not thrilled with the weight of the paper, with the price point for the quality of the paper, and there's just a couple different things that wasn't really doing it for me. I purchased this on Amazon, and this notebook here is by the brand Buke, and you can see down here the embossing, and it just says owl on the cover, and this is probably one of the best buys that I have acquired since I've been doing any bullet journaling over the past 4 to 5 years. And the reason for that is because the dot grid is the perfect shade for me. As you can see, it is extremely light, but still, very noticeable. So that's really perfect for me. I love the distance between the dots because that's also something to think about. And for the most part, like this is, an unused layout here, but for the most part, this lays flat and I don't really have to fuss with it too much. There's several signatures in here, so that's kind of why it lays flat. The stitching is great, but the quality of the paper, this is like 160 weight. There's practically no shading or shadowing that you can see from page to page. The Leuchtturm, I struggled with that so much. One of my biggest pet peeves of writing in any notebook or journaling, any type of work on paper is shadowing. It's so distracting to me, and I don't know, I just can't get past it. So this has practically no shadowing. The weight and the feel of the paper it's just top quality, and the price point was $11. So for my Leuchtturms, I was paying around $20, and the paper is a cream color casted paper, and I like the stark white because I think it just allows you to use any type of colors or whatever you want without taking away from it or kind of competing with the colors that you're using in your spreads. I love everything about this. So I will link this down below. And if you guys are interested in something that is very affordable and also really high quality, in my opinion, I think this is probably, like I said, one of the best buys that I have found. As for the pens that I use, I keep it really simple. I use Tombows, so you can see here that this is one of the more commonly used colors throughout. I use this tip here because it kind of lends itself to more of a highlighter capability. So I use these in a couple of different colors. I also use this Bic Gelosity in the 0.5 tip. I got this originally in a 10 pack from Target for $4.99, and for this tip and the quality of the pen, it doesn't skip, it's really smooth. The price point, you just can't beat it. So these are awesome. And my favorite pen to use for bullet journaling is my Muji in 0.38. This is a gel ink ballpoint pen, and it is so amazing. And these are fairly inexpensive. You can get like a 3-pack or a 5-pack. In fact, I just reordered, oh, there you go. All right, I just reordered a 10-pack of these, and I think I paid, I don't know, I can't even remember, but I think I got these like about a month ago. I haven't had to open them yet. But anyway, so that's pretty much it. Now, do you need anything more to do to start your bullet journal? No, you could just use a plain ballpoint pen and you would be fine. So I'm going to show you guys what's in here. In the back of the journal, I have some of my more personal information, like accounts and sensitive information for, you know, budgeting and things like that. I really like this as a companion to my budgeting, but also as a companion to pretty much anything that I'm doing. This has really taken the place of having a separate notebook lately for list making, like for my to-dos and tasks and things like that. So it's really serving me in a lot of different ways. So I just have these kind of jammed back in here. I got this ruler. I got a couple of these. It was just sent to me at work as like a promotional piece with some other items. So what I did is I just cut it in half just so I can have smaller straight edges to use, and this is like more for a full-size page, and then this is just like for like little sections. So whatever you have on hand, you know, just so you have a straight edge, I think that that's helpful sometimes. And I also have this is by Westcott, and I can't remember what this came with or if it came by itself, but it's nice for making little squares, little bullets, circles, you know, things like that. So I keep that in there if I want things to look a little bit more neat. After this video, I am going to start setting up my journal for August, and I will do kind of a fast forward process video just so you guys can see that. I know I had gotten some questions, do I have anything for people who are beginning in their bullet journal? And I really don't, because I really haven't done anything like that on my channel, but I think that it can be a really helpful tool for you guys out there who love to make lists. There used to be a hashtag a few years ago, list makers gonna list. So if you look at that on Instagram or other places, you can probably find a lot of ideas just by searching that. There used to be lots of challenges and things like that. And I love making lists because it just makes me feel like I'm really on track, and when I am able to check things off, I find that incredibly satisfying. So my first layout is on 4 pages. I'm going to zoom in just a bit. This is all handwritten, so when I write this small, I feel like I'm capable of writing small, but my handwriting takes on a life of its own, and it kind of has a look of its own. So it really is kind of weird looking to me when I look back on it. But this is really easy to do, and I find this incredibly helpful as something to use as a reference point for however long you use this journal. I don't know how long I'll be using this because I also have some different ideas, and I love the process of setting things up. So you know, I may use this until the end of this year. It would be like a full 6 months, or I may end up switching it out at the start of, I don't know, maybe October, and, you know, see, I don't know, just gonna play around with it, see how it goes. It depends on how much content I put in this as well. But this is your calendar, your yearly calendar on 4 pages. So I have January through June here, and as you can see, there's a lot of highlights. I highlighted some birthdays, important days in my life, or family members and friends. The other highlights, the blue highlights that look like they're just kind of highlighting nothing, are just marking out the weekends. So that's kind of a popular way to do this amongst bullet journalers, is just to use this type of layout, and then just to break up an entire list of dates just to highlight the weekend. Now, if I flip the page, you guys are going to see where I made my biggest mistake. I was counting wrong, or I was looking at the dates wrong, and I started to highlight the weekends, and I was like, that's not right. I skipped an entire month is what I did. So this looks like it has a bunch of 4-day weekends, and that's not actually true. But for me, it wouldn't be a journal for me unless I made some mistakes, and that is just par for the course for me, so it's okay. One thing I would not do is this type of spread again. I like the idea of having an entire monthly calendar on 2 pages, but I thought for some reason this would be like a really cool thing to do, but these squares are so small, it's almost impossible for me to write anything legibly in them. Especially they're not all the same size. I had to kind of reduce a couple of the days a week just to make room for the other ones to have enough space. In a perfect world, with a perfect calendar or planner, I would give the majority of space to Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Because I work Monday through Friday on a regular basis, the weekends are really when I get stuff done. And so that's where I would give the most prominence and importance in my planner if I were ever to make one. But I wasted 12 pages on this, and that is not something that I would end up doing again. I like the way it looks. I think it's nice. I think it's functional. I started to incorporate a little bit more for July in there, but overall, I don't think I would do that again. So here is my mood tracker, and I have to fill in the past couple of days because I didn't do that. But just to give you a full effect, this was my June mood tracker, and this is not something that I had ever done in any bullet journal that I have used before. And when I started doing this, I found it incredibly helpful. I really like to look back. I like to see the full schematic and range of moods, and I just never felt like it was worth it for me to track such a thing. You know, if you're in a mood, you're in a mood, and whatever, you deal with your feelings. But looking back on it, I think that it's really interesting data. And so I will continue to do this each month in whatever journal that I create. And the past couple of days, like I said, I've been slacking, but I've been so sick. And as you can see, my moods have been all over the place, which is really quite different from June. So I think that's interesting too. And it just kind of reflects like things going on in life. And I don't know, I just think it's interesting data to be able to archive and go back and look at. So this was a pretty interesting and easy spread to do. And like I said, I'm going to be filming my August layout, and I will show you guys a lot of this in a fast forward fashion. Here is my home mortgage payoff. And this wouldn't be a journal for me or a planner or a calendar or anything if I didn't have some kind of finance or budgeting module incorporated into it somehow. What I did was I started with our total payoff as of the beginning of this year. And you can see that is the progress that we have made so far. So in the beginning, we refinanced our house, I think in 2017, at the end of 2017. So whenever you refinance, you know, for whatever term you take out your new mortgage, you kind of start all over again with paying so much interest in the beginning, whether it's a 30-year, a 20-year, a 15-year, whatever it is. So we have not been paying off things very quickly, but I usually try and pay a little extra on our mortgage when I can. At the beginning of this year, it was a little bit easier, but that's where we are right now. And this took quite a few pages as well. So as you can see, this is an entire 4-page spread. It does take a lot of prominence in the journal, and it does take up a lot of space. So here are my goals pages, and as you can see, that took up 3 pages. So I started with July, and this is what I wanted to do financially in the month of July, and I'm going to be filling in August here. I think this is a really nice layout too, to kind of keep track of, you know, your main goals. I don't think you have to get into the nitty-gritty here, but if there's some big things that you want to check off or be able to tick off your list, you know, I think this is a really nice way to do it. Here is the monthly income for 2020. I like having this here too, and I need to go back and refer to my budget planner and fill in these blocks here, and I think that will be really nice to be able to go back and look too. So this is the entire year that I have on one page. Into a sleep tracker, and I thought this was a fun spread to do. I would never make it look this way again, and it's a little bit awkward the way it's set up. So as you can see here, it starts at 12 a.m. and it goes all the way to 11 p.m. So if I go to bed anytime before midnight, I have to start my sleep here, and then let's just say I start it here, and then I have to finish it up here. So as you can see, it kind of has like this zigzag motion to use this chart. And like I have to plug in my times too. Like I said, the past couple of days, I just haven't really been paying attention to updating any of my calendars. I will be doing a sleep tracker, but it will be a different layout from this. Here are my sinking funds, and you guys may be saying to yourself, I thought you had sinking fund trackers in your budget planner. I do, and I like tracking things in multiple places all over the place, and as redundant and repetitive as it may seem, it just makes me happy. And I like having things in different notebooks. Like this is kind of like a catch-all for life, finances, goals, habits, like you saw moods and things like that. This is kind of a little hodgepodge mix of everything for me. Part of what I do and part of the main things that I track in my life are finances. So I thought it was nice to put in a little graph here that I can also color in my progress. So that's really satisfying, and I have to update this very soon too. I don't really know what this is about. It's kind of like I don't know, like not fireworks, but kind of fireworks, like an explosion, you know, when you hit the end or whatever. And you can see I have goal written at the last square. I don't think I would make this look exactly the same way again if I had to do it, but that's okay. And I also have my monetary goals here. So as you can see, I have my amounts, like where I want to get. Emergency fund 18,000, savings 10,000, Christmas club 1,500, and our dog fund 1,000. I have everything captured right here. Here is my first week of July. It was only 4 days because I started on July 1, which is a Wednesday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and just some of my notes there. This is second week of July. So I try to do some kind of different flower at the top because I find those are easiest for me to draw, flowers and leaves and plants. I don't know, that's probably my easiest doodles. And then here's my water tracker up here. And then here is the third week of July, as you can see. So I did some rosettes. And then fourth week of July, I tried to do some dandelion fluffs, you know, when they go from yellow and they turn into like a little cotton fluff. So little pieces of that flying everywhere. Then of course, my last week of July, I got into a little bit more bold color. And you can see that I did some tropical leaves and colored them in. So here is my YouTube video tracker, and what I did was create a list for each month remaining for the year. And I created a little block day by day, and if I uploaded a video that day, I colored it in. And I think that's a really nice, very simplistic way of keeping track of how often I upload. And then that is pretty much it. This is my calendar on 2 pages for August. Since this is already done, this will not be part of my process video, but I will be showing you the other layouts that I do for the month of August, including a mood tracker, a sleep tracker, and filling in my goals, and of course updating my sinking funds and anything else that I decide to incorporate for this month. I start my financials probably, I don't know, I would say right around here, right around these pages. These are the amount of pages I have left. I think it's like 40 some. If I plan to use this until the very end of the year, I'm gonna kind of have to budget out how many pages I can use for each month. But if I decide to create another journal for September or beginning in October, then I can kind of be free and put in as much information as I like and not worry about it. I like the idea of starting a new journal on a significant date, like the first of the year or the first of the new fiscal year. I'm not totally against starting it at different times throughout the year, like, you know, the first of any given month. So I think that will be okay. But this is what I did. And as you can see, I'm not using a whole lot of color in this journal, but just enough. I think it's giving it just enough to give it a little bit of life and to make it look a little bit more vibrant than just, you know, pen on paper. So that is what things are looking like, and I can't wait to set up August and share that with you. Like I said, I will link this notebook down below. I think it's a great buy. It's great quality, and I'm so happy with it. And for my next journal, I will definitely be going back to this brand just because of the price point and the no shadowing. So as you can see, here is a heavily colored in with this dark pen. And if I turn this page, you guys can barely see the shadowing. I mean, it's really hardly noticeable. If I would have done this in a Leuchtturm, the top half of this page would have been unusable because it would have bled through so much. So I'm really, really happy with this, and I cannot wait to film my August process. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, if you have some questions, please leave them down below, but you will be able to find this journal in the links. And if you're interested in how I set up the month of August, just stay tuned for that video. I have lots of other videos coming up, including my July recap for my budget and my August forecast and setting some goals. You guys are doing well. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope to see you guys in my next video. Take care.